Zidane, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Promise Neverland, the anime, as well as a little bit about the manga, but yeah. But before we do that, I would just like to say that there are going to be two videos today. This first one, which is bad news, and the next one, which is going to be coming out at noon PST, which is really good news that a lot of fans of a certain show are going to be really excited about and are probably going to be coming running to this channel as soon as I reveal that. So, yeah. Oh boy. Anyways, let's actually start talking about the bad news and Promised Neverland. So the first thing to note is that this is mostly a rant video. If you guys want to know my actual opinions, then I suggest actually going over to Vocal Pineapple's channel. He has done a pretty good video about the whole thing, and it honestly made me not certain if I actually wanted to do this video because he covered basically everything that I wanted to. But today, I am going to be ranting, and I am going to be pissed. But, yeah, so if you're going to watch this video, definitely watch it. If you want to see his video, then go to the iCards and watch that. Also, please do go watch his video, even if you watch this all the way through. I'm going to try and put it in the iCards as well as in the description, but don't necessarily think that I will because I'm forgetful. But anyways, guys, let's actually talk about this series, Promised Neverland. So first off, many of you guys should be aware, especially if you've been following the channel for a while, that I read basically everything for Promised Neverland. Currently, I'm just waiting for the manga over here in America to catch up. And yes, I know that I could read the rest of it on Viz, but I don't want to. I want to read it with an actual book for my first reading of it. And oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. If you read Promised Neverland, you will not like this season. That should be something that we should just all say. You will not like this season if you've read the manga. If you've only watched the show, then sure, you might absolutely love it. But, like I said, there are a lot of problems. The first two episodes are kind of like there are issues. Don't get me wrong. Everyone knows that there were issues in those two episodes. Forget taking out like a whole bunch of scenes about the kids learning and working together to figure certain things out, and losing track of the majority in order to, and then falling into the pit, and then knowing to use the pit later to capture the demon, and so on and so forth. There's a lot to it. And then there's also the stuff with Mujika and Sanju and all of that stuff. Them revealing way more stuff in the actual manga than they did in the anime. Revealing the fact that even if they wanted to save the farm, save every single farm kid, they probably couldn't because a large majority of them are just not able to do anything. They're basically the equivalent of our modern day cows, our mass production cow farms. So yeah, basically they're fattened up and then they're slaughtered and all that jazz, which yeah, that's completely understandable. But one of the biggest issues is the fact that, well, this show has a lot of issues. And really, episode 3 was one of the big parts of where the issues start to come in. Things like Mujika not mentioning the 7 walls, which I've kind of been feeling for a while that the Keeper of the Promises wasn't going to be involved in the series, because they just don't mention him for a long time. They don't mention him at all within the first season. And they kind of should have, but I kind of understand why they wouldn't. But they still haven't mentioned anything revolving around him except for the necklace. And even that, it feels like it's such a minor part now. We skip ahead and later, and it's all just a lot. They take out one of the most important characters in the story, Yugo, who honestly, he meant so much to the story. He really did. He did a lot for the story. Not to mention all of the Goldie Pond kids. They completely cut out that entire arc. Goldie Pond is considered by almost every fan of the series to be the greatest part of the manga. Like, honestly, seeing Emma being a badass, taking down just a whole bunch of demons almost single-handedly, not actually single-handedly, but she worked with the entire group using her brain and using her skills that she learned from both Sanju and Yugo to really just show up a whole bunch of people, and she was able to take down a demon that the rest of the kids there thought was impossible. It's insane to think about that. All these kids, all these people, and it honestly was really cool. But then everything just, it never happened. Instead, we skip ahead to the point where we are. They get attacked later, and we don't know anything about the Rattree clan, but apparently they're there, so there's that. But we completely miss out on them, and we miss out on so many aspects to the story that honestly made me fall in love with Promised Neverland more and more as I read the story, and they just cut it all out. I mean, in truth, they probably are going to do a decent job revealing, explaining how Norman escaped and all of that stuff. That is definitely a possibility, but they failed on so many levels to actually make that part of the story good. They failed, and it was not fun. And what makes it even worse is knowing the fact that the creator of the manga is actually involved with this season of the this season of the anime, and the fact that she is confuses me because this looks like it's just a completely different direction of the series. Look, I get it. People were upset about the ending of the series, which I haven't read it, so I can't say for certain why that is. But I know that people were upset. But the fact that they were so upset should not be one of the big reasons for this series to fail so miserably. Going down a completely different path, taking out the parts that fans were ecstatic to see in the anime. Like, seriously, everyone, and I mean everyone, was excited to see Goldie Pond get animated. Because, holy crap, that arc was amazing. But instead, we got this. So many things have gone off the deep end. Basically, all of episode 5 is completely new content that, I mean, yes, there are some similarities to what was going on later in the story, but to the same degree, it was so drastically different that I honestly can't see why anyone would like this, especially if they read the manga. One of the biggest issues with creating a movie or a show or anything based off of previously made material is making sure that it lives up to the potential and what happened in the original story. With many of these movies over here in America, fans aren't necessarily as pissed off about it not following the source material as, say, they are with manga and anime. Seriously, take a look at actually a lot of the different anime that have been around for a while. Things like, I'm not going to give Full Metal Alchemist as an example because that's a completely different situation, but things like Blue Exorcist are one of the biggest examples of this. As soon as basically the entire story has so many differences from the anime or from the manga that a lot of fans actually got upset, and that's why in the second season they actually chose to follow the manga pretty much word for word. But again, it didn't work. It was too little, too late. The series had already flopped, and as such, we're probably never going to get a second season. Again, another good example is Devil Was a Part-Timer. Got one season. Fans absolutely love this show, but anyone who read the manga or the light novel is probably really upset. I have only read the manga. I haven't read the light novel yet. But based off of what I've seen in the manga, I know that there are so many differences within Devil's a Part-Timer from its original source material that I can't imagine there aren't fans who got super pissed off and caused the show to be cancelled. The fact is that if Promised Neverland wants to continue, it has to completely redo this season. The fact is that this season was looks to be going in a completely different direction, and likely is going to finish off the story in a new way that the writer and the creators think fans are going to like more than that of the actual manga, because like I said, manga had some failings right at the end, and fans were not happy. But the anime going in that totally different direction means that you're going to lose fans. Even if you don't end it and finish it this season, you are not getting another season. That's honestly the simple fact. Promised Neverland will not be getting a third season unless they specifically promise that if they are going to create it again, they are actually going to redo season 2 and follow it nearly word for word from the moment they left off in the anime season 1 and go at least until Goldie Pond, because if you don't put Goldie Pond in that season, then oh boy, there are going to be some pissed off fans, because making up for the mistakes of this season are probably going to lead to a lot of people complaining like crazy, and without getting you in, at least getting them to Goldie Pond, I don't think that the series is going to continue at all. So, yeah, I don't know. So, what should you do? Well, if you are someone who's only been reading the manga, or has only been watching the show, please, please, please start reading the manga. It has a completely different story and is honestly so much better at this point. And like I said, everyone loves Goldie Pond, so please check that out. But anyways, guys, for now, I think that's it. Like I said before, go check out Vocal Pineapple's version of his thoughts on this whole thing. A lot of my thoughts are very similar to his, and he just handles it way better than I did. So definitely go check out his video. Again, that should be in the iCards and the description. If I forgot, yell at me in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, or you just haven't subscribed yet, because it actually does help out a lot. And of course, if you have any thoughts or theories, please leave them down in the comments below. And if you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in your comment. And of course, if you want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description and check out all of our links down there, including our social medias and ways that you can support us financially, including our Patreon and our merch store, which by the time this video comes out, it should be having something new for a friend of mine. So definitely get ready to check that out. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!